Yeah, my name's Lawson Jones, and I currently lead worship at a church called St Mary's, Bryanston Square, in the centre of London. I moved there as a student, as part of the student ministry there, and started to lead worship there. Prior to moving to London to be a student, I grew up in Guildford. My father was a worship leader in our local church, and I, from a young age, played the drums, sort of behind the main drummer, and just was used to being in the team on a Sunday, going to practices, that kind of stuff. So I've done it as long as I can remember, and when I was about 15, 16, I started leading worship in my sort of youth group in the church. Just picked up a guitar. My mum had an old guitar around the house. Taught myself some songs from the early Soul Survivor songbooks, which had the chord charts in them, so I knew where to put my fingers. Just went from there, moved to London, became a part of the church St Mary's in London at a time when they had felt called to plant churches. So just on graduating, they sent me to Auckland, New Zealand, as far as the way as they possibly could send me. And we planted a church there. I set up the worship life of that church, the vision and the values, trained people to take over from me. I went to Florida after that, which was a terrible hardship for me, to set up another church there that was planted from St Mary's River City Church, and again found some folk to take that over from me, and eventually found my way back to London, where I now pastor the team at St Mary's. St Mary's is a church right in the heart of London. The church tower kind of shoots directly down to Marble Arch. We're right in the middle of the city, and it's just always strikes me every time I go in that we're creating this little house of worship right in the heart of one of the greatest and most significant cities in the world, and that never ceases to amaze me every time we go in there. So I think we are called to do that, to be a voice of worship in the city, and in a city whose heartbeat is felt all around the world. And we are a church who, because of our location and some of the people who go to our church, we have people coming every week who've never been in a church before, or they might have grown up with some knowledge of the church, but they've been away for a long, long time. And so we feel like, as a worship community, we're almost sort of introducing people to the concept of what it is to worship God, and that's a hugely exciting thing to do week in, week out. Yeah, I am a songwriter by nature. It's just something I always instinctively did when I've learned musical instruments. I've always been, my first instinct has been to write new songs rather than learn old ones. And I've had experience of writing songs for the church and for music outside of the church, and they're two very different disciplines. I love to just write little folk songs that don't really mean anything to anybody. It's kind of a hobby for me. But in terms of writing songs for the church, it's one of the hardest songwriting disciplines, because you're trying to find a melody and a song structure that's both inspirational and hopefully musically moving, but that also is able to sweep as many people as possible up in this tune. So they've got to be able to follow it, they've got to be able to sort of make sense of the words, make sense of the song structure. So it's a very, very difficult discipline, and as such I think the simpler that you can make it, the better. Some of the greatest songs, the most enduring songs in the church are just the most simple ones. I heard someone just singing in their tent as I was walking around the campsite at New Wine the other day, I exalt thee, I exalt thee. You know, just such a beautiful old tune. And it's just stood the edges, it's just so simple. So I just would encourage others who are writing just to start simple and just, you know, simple truths, simple melodies, simple songs that allow the church to be swept up in these truths that we sing together.